How's it going, guys? I'm Jared, and welcome back to Trash Classics. So, who likes old PC titles? Seriously, because if you don't...
Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
You guys remember playing old PC games? Man, those were the days. It was hard as hell to find them with big-name stores focusing on console titles, and when you were able to find them, they came in giant, weird-shaped boxes for no damn reason at all. I mean, what was in these things that required such odd shapes? Some floppies or a couple of CDs and a small booklet? I'm convinced that the entire PC gaming industry were competing to see whose box could fit on a shelf the least. Of course, once you got your octagon-shaped box open, it was a crapshoot whether or not you'd be able to run the damn game without having to get a new graphics card. But when the planets aligned and you were able to successfully install that brand new PC game, you were treated to graphics, sound, and controls that consoles at the time couldn't even hold a candle to. And because of lessened financial strain and an overall simpler process of development with PC games, small developers were able to give us a shit ton of really unique titles. And as you would expect, today's Trash Classic is on one such title. Shogo Mobile Armor Police was a PC-only first-person shooter released in 1998 by Monolith and Microids, the latter of which would go on to release Still Life, which was, and this is a fun fact,
the best PC adventure game ever.
Even in the late 90s, the first-person shooter market was saturated, and Shogo needed to stand out if it was going to sell even marginally well. So how did Shogo accomplish this feat? Well, it was a mech-based, anime-influenced, American-made first-person shooter. This was just a little bit more than unique. In the late 90s, most of us had never even heard these words together in the same sentence before. In Shogo, you play as Sanjiro, a commander of the United Corporate Authority. While fighting for the planet Kronos, Sanjiro lost his best friend, brother, and girlfriend to the war.
Who is this? This is a secure line. How did...
It's good to hear your voice again.
Kura?
Good guess.
I thought you were dead.
Or did he? After the game's first mission, Sanjiro is summoned by Admiral Akuraju, the father of his late girlfriend and sister, who Sanjiro is now dating. The Admiral wants Sanjiro to enter the city of Avernus to kill their enemy's leader, Gabriel. Sanjiro accepts this mission with the utmost respect.
I'll see to that myself if I have to.
Do you have something you wish to share with me, Commander?
Yes, sir. You are my personal hero, sir.
And is on his way. Of course, things don't go according to plan, and after a couple of plot twists and backstabs, Sanjiro abandons his mission and instead chooses to get to the bottom of the conspiracy that he's found himself in. All in all, Shogo has a fairly interesting sci-fi storyline, if not a little cheesy, but it will keep you interested, and even manages to be pretty decent in some parts. So let's move on to graphics, which is hard because I'm not sure where I stand on Shogo's graphics. On one hand, there are these really cool levels with well-designed layouts, guns that look good and animate well, there's great explosions, particle effects, and mech designs. But on the other hand, there's this. I can honestly say the character models of Shogo are the worst I've ever seen before. I mean, come on, look at this. How did this make it into the final product? And I know what you're thinking, that I should just chalk this up to it being such an old game, which I normally would, had this game not come out 2 months before a little-known PC game called motherfucking Half-Life. All of that doesn't really matter though. Gameplay is where Shogo really shines. At the time, every game that let you take control of a giant hulking mech were either slow, realistic simulators or real-time strategy games. Shogo was really the first time I can remember stepping into the cockpit of a giant robot and dealing out equal amounts of lead and whoop-ass in a first-person view. Controlling your mech, or as the game calls it, MCA, feels weighty and satisfying. That is of course dependent on which one you choose at the game's intro level. I've only ever chosen the faster MCA, so I really wouldn't be able to tell you much about the others. But rest assured that moving around inside a giant metallic machine feels great and responds well. There are also segments that have you running and gunning without the aid of your MCA. These parts tend to be much harder than the missions inside the MCA, but they do a lot to change things up and keep you on your toes. You'll find the overall combat in Shogo fast and satisfying, with that old PC FPS style. You know what I'm talking about, that fast-paced, circle-strafing, no iron sights, unforgiving gameplay that used to define PC shooters. Shogo's difficulty was also a testament to its era. See, back then we liked our games tough as nails, and Shogo was more than happy to oblige. It seems like enemies can line up a headshot on you the second you come anywhere near their line of sight. And just to make matters worse, your health drains just about as fast as theirs. Shogo has that classic PC-style difficulty, so don't be surprised when a single low-level enemy is all it takes to put you on the fast track to the reload screen. I know this is starting to sound like more gripe than praise, but Monolith implemented a really unique feature that offsets Shogo's hardcore difficulty. Scoring a critical hit on the enemy will gain you a little health back. This ends up replacing the health pickups common in other shooters at the time. There's still scattered health packs here and there, but they tend to be in secret areas and off the hidden path. Even with this critical hit mechanic, Shogo manages to be an insanely difficult game. I'd recommend getting real familiar with that quick save key before even installing this bad boy. And that's not all. You can also transform your MCA into a vehicle, and this again is based on which one you pick up in the beginning. But I swear I've never once found a legitimate use for this. Now this is just speculation, but I'm pretty sure it was implemented for no other reason than looking really cool in third person. And I'm okay with that. I mean, come on, it's a mech shooter that lets you transform into a hover car. If you don't think that's cool, then you're the one with the problem. And speaking of problems, I'll be the first one to admit this game isn't perfect. In fact, Shogo has some pretty serious flaws. But sometimes on Trash Classics, I'm going to recommend a game that only a select few are going to get into. And this is definitely one of those times. As a matter of fact, here's a checklist that should let you know whether or not Shogo is the game for you. Are you a fan of regenerating health, waypoints, cover-based shooting, or reloading? If you answered yes to even one of these, you'll probably have more fun with the dead cat than with Shogo. As a matter of fact, you should probably get back to Xbox Live. The new Call of Duty game isn't going to play itself. But those of you who like old school, fast-paced shooting, unique design, insanely challenging gameplay, and hot robot-on-robot action may want to give this gem a look. You can find Shogo for $6 on goodoldgames.com, and at that price point you'd have to be crazy not to give it a try. Shogo may not be very pretty at times, and it sure as hell isn't for everyone, but it's fun, interesting, and the textbook definition of a trashed classic. Thanks for watching, guys. Did you happen to enjoy this episode of Trash Classics? Then make sure to subscribe to my channel or leave a comment telling me what you think. Wait, what's that? You need more? Well, it just so happens that there are 2 episodes right here. Why don't you go ahead and give them a look? Now, come on, don't act like you have anything better to do. You're watching a review of an old PC game on YouTube. What's one more?